My 29 husband, 36, is the breadwinner of the family. I stay home with the kids who are preschool age. He pays for the mortgage, bills, household needs, food, kids' needs, etc. He has set a monthly budget for each category and handles getting everything done. Recently, he has become overwhelmed and told me to handle grocery shopping, but before he let me, he asked me to write a list of all the stuff we need so he could calculate the total and also so he'd have an idea how much I'll be spending when I take his credit card. I didn't have an issue with that because this way we'd watch our spending habits. However, he said I'm never allowed to get something that isn't on the list unless I'm paying for it some other way. On Friday I was doing some grocery shopping as usual and saw that the store had some nice shoes on sale. The price was insanely low for this brand and so I decided to grab a pair for my husband thinking he'd be happy with them since he needed new sneakers. Anyway, I bought them and when I showed them to him he flipped out on me saying I made a huge mistake by buying something that was not on the list. I agreed with him but I thought that since the shoes were for him then it'd be different. He said I screwed up and shouldn't have bought those sneakers without even telling him. But in my defense I said that the price was low so it's not like I spent $100 on shoes, and also I saw this as a great deal and wanted him to have those nice sneakers. He plainly said that what I did is considered stealing, since he never consented to have those sneakers purchased and said that I'm being irresponsible with money. That is why I no longer have an income and my spending habits need a grip. I felt hurt by what he said. We argued about it for hours and he avoided speaking to me the rest of the day. The next day I went and returned the sneakers and took the money back. He got home in the evening and lost it when he found out I returned them. He said he couldn't believe how petty and childish I was to do actually to this. I explained I was just correcting my mistake. He tried to contact the store and was told the sneakers were already sold. He got even angrier with me but I told him that he accused me of stealing for him when I was just trying to do a nice gesture for him. He yelled that I had a lot of nerve calling what I did nice gesture, while using his money to do it. I told him he had no right to yell at me after I corrected my mistake, and gave back the money he accused me of stealing. He threw a fit then went out with his friends and came home late at night still not talking to me. Did I mess up? Maybe I shouldn't have purchased them knowing they weren't on the list but I just wanted him to have those sneakers and thought I was doing a nice gesture. This is financial and emotional abuse and beyond Reddit's pay grade. You need an exit plan up. The best advice I received when I was in a similar situation was, you have 3 options. First, to make a decision to stay and make it work. Second, make a decision to stay for now while you consider your options, and third, make a decision to leave and start planning. It gave me back some semblance of control and made me feel like I was in the driver's seat for the first time in ages. It's so difficult to leave when you are being financially abused and so anxious all the time that you have to devote all of your energy to surviving your reality, especially when you have young children. People don't seem to realize that just leaving is extremely difficult, especially when there is no physical abuse because people don't believe you unless you are black and blue. Even then, retaining custody of your children is so hard when you are not in a secure housing and financial situation. Honestly, this post made me feel sick. It's obviously a PTSD response, but I just want to see Op and her kids safe. Sad face. NTA, his money? Charge him for cooking, cleaning, laundry, general housekeeping and childcare then. If you are a SOM he earns family money. This is financial abuse. As for the argument that you stole his money to buy him a gift, it is beyond fucked up. If you decide to stay with him, surely you should stop buying him birthday and Christmas presents. By his own logic you are stealing from him. Yes, even telling her that she has no income due to irresponsible financial decisions. She has no separate income because her work is unpaid and in the home. NTA. This is both financial abuse and emotional abuse. Financial abuse involves the abuser controlling the victim's ability to acquire, use and maintain financial resources, and it can be a precursor to physical abuse, because if a victim has no financial resources, it's much harder for them to leave. The fact that you stay home with your kids does not mean that all of the family's money is his. If you return to work, both of you would have to pay a significant amount of money for childcare, so what you are doing is neither free nor worthless. The money in your family's bank account is every bit as much yours as it is his. Again, his behavior is abusive. Please seek out help for yourself, as this abuse can very easily escalate. ETA. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Sincerely hope Op takes all of these comments to heart. Somehow I still am surprised when I see how people have been conditioned to believe the abuse they are receiving is normal behavior. NTA. This is financial and emotional abuse. Please seek help. It certainly is, and though the financial abuse is concerning, the emotional obstacle course this man is creating just has to be beyond exhausting. Everything Op does is wrong, and when she tries to fix it, she's still wrong. There is no winning with this type of person. And Op, as a healthy example of how this works. I am the worker, my husband is the stay-at-home parent. He has equal access to all of our money. Savings, checking, credit cards, etc. That said, we have a system where he uses his credit card for anything he wants, needs, and we pay that from checking. We just set a price limit that we both need to discuss with each other when purchasing big things, and even then, depending on individual situations, he could max out his card if he needed to and we'd be fine, and he doesn't have to ask permission. Know why? Because finances should be transparent, especially when one parent gives up their job. It is both of our money, not just mine, and he has a right to all of it too. NTA, but I am seriously concerned for you. Almost ask couples in your same situation with only one breadwinner share finances. So you should have your own credit card and be able to make reasonable purchases without discussion. And if finances are so tight that he's controlling every dollar, she should be involved in the budget and get input on what purchases are considered reasonable. The fact that there's no transparency and she has no idea how much money there is or where, is mind-boggling. I have a feeling he's either spending too much and hiding it from her, or has a secret separate account to keep his savings that comes out of the joint pot. I doubt they would have entered into this arrangement if they could not afford to lose OP's income, so my inclination is to believe something shady is going on. NTA. Your husband is financially abusing you. His behavior is out of control. Screaming and yelling at you for spending a few dollars on shoes for him is irrational. Then to do it again when you took them back takes it to a whole other level. Have you ever talked to a family member or friend about this control? If not, you should, because you need help getting out from under his abuse. If you can look into getting a part-time job, counseling, and your own credit card. I've never heard of a housewife, not being allowed to buy items not on a grocery list until I started reading this subreddit. It just makes me so sad. NTA. Financial and emotional abuse are still abuse. It's not just about whether he hits you. I'm betting quite a bit that he's physically abusing her too. He's abusing and gaslighting you. You can't win with this guy. 100% what I thought about. She was in trouble for buying the shoes and also in trouble for returning them. WTF. NTA. He is abusing you financially at the least. He sounds like a horrible, tedious little man. Please get help to plan leaving him. NTA. This whole money thing needs to be corrected, or frankly, you need to bail. Because this isn't a life you made together, it's his world, and he'll tell you how when it's okay to spend a nickel, regardless of you raising his kids and making a home for him. You need your own money and get some power back in your life. What your husband is doing is called financial abuse. You guys are married. Is not his money alone. He is also verbally abusing you and manipulating you. NTA. NTA. My dad was financially abusive like your husband, and it took my mom 12 years to leave him. I was an 11-year-old child and I was happy that my parents were divorcing. My dad didn't make it easy for her, but it was the best thing she ever did for me and my brother. Because, and this is very important, the abuse he does to you he will also inflict on your children. And your kids will become insecure messes. Financial abuse is traumatic. It often comes with verbal abuse, the way he talks to you surely is. And emotional abuse, again, he's doing this to you. I'm still in therapy as an adult because of my dad. Don't let this happen to your kids. Don't let this keep happening to you. Get out. Damn. Yes to all this. Hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping. You are so NTA, but this goes far beyond an IATA post. This sounds like your husband is controlling and abusive. Can you get help from friends and family? I really think you need help. 100% this. NTA. 2 words. Community property. Because he has an income does not mean the money is his. In a marriage, the money belongs to the couple. The non-income earning partner who contributes labor like shopping and childcare is legally entitled. Otherwise, it is servitude, which is illegal. See a lawyer for your rights and good luck, because a controlling person like this is prone to turn nasty when the jig is up. If he doesn't like her spending extra money at the grocery store, imagine how little he'll like having to pay her monthly alimony. She would be so much better off. NTA. You are in a financially and emotionally abusive relationship. Please consider your alternatives. NTA. You don't have any spending money yourself. That can't be right. This is financial abuse. NTA financial abuse alert. Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. Is he high or something? Dot. He got mad when you bought the shoes, so you returned them and give him the money back to correct your mistake. He gets mad still for returning the shoes. Can he make up his mind? Lol, this Sunere act ain't the way, sis. Dot. NTA. The audacity of her husband. Sure, he's paying for everything, but it's not as if you're not pulling your weight too. You're taking care of the house, and makes sure that he gets fed and dressed every freaking day. TF does he think you are doing, lazing around the house? The house ain't gonna take care of itself without you doing it. JFC the entitlement of people sometimes. When as was the sole earner, I knew approximately amount I need to cover my travel, insurance, bills etc. and plus 1K for fun money. I gave everything else to my wife. A home is a tricky beast. Sometimes you don't even need half the budget, sometimes it swallows up the budget and its neighbors. Never have I ever asked her for exact amount. She kept bills receipts in the folder so I had access. Your husband absolutely doesn't trust you, nor does he wants you to be independent. It's a very bad sign. NTA, but be very careful and start cataloging his behavior. If my husband made me make an exact list before going grocery shopping, I'd first laugh my ass off, then tell him to kiss my ass and let him know that he could do the list making and grocery shopping all by himself. Yeah, the only time the exact list thing makes sense is if you're shopping for someone else. Dot. I go shopping for my mom all the time, so I like to be sure she gives me an exact list. Dot. In this context though, like WHAAAAT? Screams abuse. NTA. Your husband is financially abusive. My exact thought. I'm sad and worried for you up. NTA. This is financial and emotional abuse, and I recommend finding possibly a shelter, or a friend, relatives to stay with while you divorce this POS. You are caring for your children full time, which is a job in itself, plus likely keeping the house clean around that, which saves him money on maid services and childcare. You are his partner and he seems to be treating you like a child. Run. NTA. Divorce him. NTA. Please run from this emotionally and financially abusive relationship. NTA. This is financial abuse.